Hello guys, we'll be solving the problem array harmonization. So let's take a look at the problem statement. You are given an array of integers and your mission is to make the array as harmonized as possible by applying a transformation rule. If two consecutive elements are identical, merge them into a single element with double the value and replace the next position with 0. After applying this rule, from left to right, your task is to adjust the array by shifting all non-zero elements to the left while maintaining the relative order. So we can see that there are two steps. Firstly, we have to see if any two consecutive elements are identical and merge them while replacing the next position with 0. And the step 2 is to make sure that all the non-zero elements are on the left side while maintaining the relative order and all the zero elements are on the right side. The input format, the first line of the input consists of integer t, the number of test cases. For each test case, the first line contains an integer n denoting the size of an array. The second line contains n space separated integers, where here the size of an array n can only range from 1 to 10 raised to 5, and the element in an array can range from 0 to 10 raised to 6. The output formats, for each test case, output the harmonized array on a new line. The sample input, 2 is the number of the sample input, 6 is the size of an array of the first test case, where the first array is 220408, and for the second test case, we have 10 as the size of an array and 202220660008 as the array. So let me explain you. For the first test case, we are given input as 220408. We can see that 2 and 2 are consecutive. So we will make the zeroth element at the zeroth position double, which is merging. So the double of 2 is 4. So it becomes 4, while the next position becomes 0. Now the element at the zeroth index is 4, and the element at the first index is 0. We can see that there are no consecutive elements left, so we will perform step 2, which is to shift all the non-zero integers towards the left in the relative order, which is 4, 4, and 8. And all the zeros are shifted to the end. For the second test case, the input is 0222 The first and the second indexes are equal, which is 2, 2. So we will double the value of the first index as 4, while the next position becomes 0. Similarly, here, fifth and the sixth position are equal, which is 6 and 6. So we will double the value. The double of 6 is 12, while the next position becomes 0. And this here we can see that there are no consecutive integers left. So we will perform the step 2, which is to shift all the non-zero integers towards the start while maintaining the relative order, which is 4, 2, 12, and then 8. And all the zeros are shifted towards the right. So now let's take a look at the code. The code will be in Java. We will have a class solution, and we will have a function to modify the array, which will give the output in the form of an array and also take the input in the form of an array. Here we initialize n as the length of the array. We will use a for loop to traverse the array, and we will check if the current element is not equal to 0 and the current element is equal to the next element. If so, then we will double the current element and we will make sure that the next element is 0. One point to be noted is since we are using I plus 1 here, we will only traverse till n minus 1 to avoid out of bound. Now, since step 1 is completed, we'll move to step 2, which is to move all the non-zero integers towards the left. We will declare a new array, which is result, having the size of the input array n, and we will have an integer index, which will be initialized to 0. Now, we will use a for loop to traverse the array, and we will make see if the current element is not equal to 0, then only we will add it to the result array at that particular index. We will store in it if only it is non-zero. After the for loop is completed, there will still be some elements which have not yet been added. So to fill the rest of the array with zeros, we will use a while loop, and from that index till the size of an array, we will store the remaining indices with 0, and we will return the result. For the main method, I have declared a scanner class, and we will take input the number of test cases. For processing each of the test cases, I will use a for loop, and I will take input the size of the array. Then I will take the array as input using the for loop. I have declared an array here from the size which was taken earlier. Then I will de declare a new modified array which will be equal to the output of the function modified array, and input is given as the array which was taken from the user. Then we will for output the modified array using the for loop, and we will close this channel. So we will try running the code. It passes all the sample test cases. Now I will submit it. It has passed all the test cases, and the status has accepted.